I'm Attorney General Bill McCollum of Florida, and I'm joined today by my fellow Attorney Generals from Utah, Mark Shurtleff, and Troy King, the Attorney General of Alabama, Karen Harded, who represents the National Federation of Independent Business. We've got Pam Bondi up here, who's ready to be a successor of mine, and I don't know if any of the other states' deputies have yet to come down from the courtroom. We've just finished the oral arguments in the motion to dismiss today with Judge Vincent on the case to declare Obamacare unconstitutional. This is a very significant hearing day to date. The judge said up there a few minutes ago that he expects to rule within the next 30 days. He set a hearing date on any motion for summary judgments that may be filed subsequent to his ruling, assuming that we win that ruling, and we certainly hope we do and expect to, on December the 16th. Let me just make two quick comments about this today, and then I'll let my colleagues make comments. First of all, Obamacare is terrible law, it's terrible constitutional law, and it's rough on the states in many, many ways that a lot of people can't foresee. Today's arguments were complex in many ways. They presented to the judge all the technical issues, but they also gave us a glimpse into what the future is going to hold as this judge proceeds to rule. My judgment, and of course everybody's guessing what judges are going to do, is that he is more sympathetic than maybe the Justice Department would like on the state's arguments, particularly with respect to the damage that this law is going to do to us and our budgets and to Medicaid and our ability to function as a state. At one point he said the states were in catch-22. At one point he said the states would be stuck with this. At one point he said the states would be powerless. All of these in questioning the attorneys who were talking today. I don't want to read too much into anything there today, but I'm optimistic that we're going to win the motion to dismiss, which is the basic motion about allowing us to simply go forward, to say that we have a case that we've stated in our pleadings. We've got 6 counts. I think our attorneys argued very well on all of those. Those arguments on both sides were very vigorous, but much of the argument was being made directed to the court for down the road, for the decision making on the substances there. And that's the way these things work. A lot of times, while we all know that we're here today about a motion to dismiss, the attorneys are making their case down the road for what they know the judge is listening to when they come back again to make the arguments on the substance. But I thought it was a great day for us, a great day for the 20 states represented here, and I'm just really honored with that. Attorney General King, would you like to say a word?
I want to begin by saying how good it is to be in Florida and finally have this hearing today. This hearing was about whether the states will get their day in court. I'm encouraged today. I believe that the states will get their day in court. For many of us who watched Obamacare unfold in the United States Congress, we felt like our voices weren't heard. This court is the place we can come and we can have not just our voices heard, but the voices of the founding fathers, the men who set up this system of government that has been trampled as Obamacare has been passed. As I listened to the arguments in court today, I couldn't help but think that never has so much history been so greatly revised in such a short amount of time. And that's what I believe the arguments made by the Department of Justice did today, was to attempt to convince this court of things that simply are not true. I'm encouraged. I believe that today was a good day for the Constitution. I believe it was a good day for the people who wrote the Constitution, and I am hopeful and optimistic that we are going to get in this courthouse what we did not get in the federal buildings in Washington, D.C., which is a chance for the Constitution to be protected and vindicated. Thank you.
General Shurtleff.
Thank you. I'm Attorney General Mark Shurtleff, state of Utah. I'm proud to stand here with my fellow attorneys general, General King, General McCollum. I really appreciate General McCollum's leadership in particular. You know that the night that Congress was making a final vote on this law, I was on the phone with General McCollum and other attorneys general. And our attitude was not anything to do with the policy that Congress is trying to enact with regard to health care, but with regard to the Constitution and the laws, which is our responsibility as attorneys general to uphold and protect. We determined that we would, if Congress went forward, have to protect the citizens of our states, the treasuries of our states, the sovereignty of our state legislatures, and that's exactly what we did in filing this bill. Now, when the federal government got up to argue today, first thing they said was, this is just a policy argument because Republicans don't like this. But then he went on to argue, and in every bit of the argument today, every aspect of the argument dealt not with policy, not with whether we should have this health care or not, whether we have a crisis or not, how we should go about it. It was about the law, about the Constitution, about how we do things in this country. That's why I agree that we're talking here about constitutional rights, constitutional laws, that we cannot stand and must stand to protect individuals against an unprecedented attack on their individual liberty, a war on small business, and attorneys general have that responsibility to step up in the place and protect individuals as well as state sovereignty. And that's where the arguments came down today. That's why we believe and hope that Judge Vinson will rule in denying the government's motion to dismiss, has fast-tracked this so we can get this resolved before the end of this calendar year. We're very excited about that. We will continue to fight. We want the federal government to go forward. We are American citizens. We love this country, but we have to follow the Constitution and the constitutional framework. We believe that has not been done in this case, and so we do believe we'll be vindicated in the courts. Thank you.
Karen Harded.
Hi, Karen Harned with National Federation of Independent Business. I run our Small Business Legal Center. And on behalf of our hundreds of thousands of members across this great nation, we do agree with the state attorneys general. We are so happy to be part of this case that's critically important to small business, our American job creators' ability to own, operate, and grow their businesses. We are very concerned about the individual liberties that are at stake in this law, and think that the judge understands that small business owners are acting now. They are planning now because they are hearing from their insurers that that coverage they have is not available any longer, that their rates are being increased dramatically as a result of this law, and that they're going to have to divert resources because of the individual mandate from their business to pay for health care, whether they want it or not. This regulation of inactivity is unacceptable, and we are strongly believing that the Constitution is on our side and that ultimately we will prevail. And again, thank everyone for the opportunity of being a part of this important case.
I want to thank all of my fellow attorney generals who joined today, as well as Karen. Not all of them were able to come and travel and be with us today. Many of them sent representatives. There are 20 of us today who are really excited about this. We have to do a live interview on a television show, the three of us do in a couple of minutes, so we'll have to take your questions individually. But let me conclude this by saying today is a great day for the Constitution of the United States. It's a great day for the individuals who are being represented here, because we know that at the end of the day, this case is going to go to the United States Supreme Court in one form or another. We don't have the ruling of the judge today. We don't know all the nuances, but we do know it's going there, and it's going there sooner rather than later, because we're going to get a hearing, assuming we get there, we believe we will, on the summary judgments in December of this year. And we also know that it is going to be, when it gets to the Supreme Court, the most significant case in my lifetime, and probably the lifetime of anybody here, dealing with the distinction between the individual rights and the federal government and its intrusion with respect to this individual mandate, and the most significant case with regard to the power of the federal government to order the states around. And our whole system of federalism rests and hinges upon the decision of this court. It is indeed that kind of a decision that ultimately decided, and this is going to first base today as we go around the bases to get to home plate, which will be the day we have this case heard and decided by the United States Supreme Court. I want to thank you all for being here today. I want to thank especially my colleagues who were up here, and you may freely ask us individual questions, but we do have to make a timetable up for one interview that we promised to do before that window closes, so we're not going to take general questions here this morning. Thank you.